Baby, you're all that I want. When you're lying here in my arms, I'm finding it hard to believe we're in
7.
7. Love is all.
Oh, second verse. Okay, second verse.
So I'm still laughing about the pre-joke. In your heart, it isn't too hard to see. We're in
7.
We're in 7.
Very good.
Hey,
I wasn't
episode 7.
I wasn't expecting that, Williams. I wasn't expecting a second verse as well after the first verse, but I'm not going to lie, I enjoyed it.
Williams and Mr. Hodgkiss here, joining us for our first look at various nonsense, I suppose.
Not nonsense this week. It's almost. I'd almost go.
Sorry. Obviously, the big update, which we'll get to a first look later on. But the first look that I'll be doing is a first look at parenthood.
Parenthood. So, for those,
a fancy word for we just had a nice healthy baby.
They've had a lovely little baby. For those of you who are just joining the podcast here on episode 7, our good chum here, Williams, and his lovely wife to be. Baby's all that you've got now, Williams. And his lovely wife to be, Georgie, have just welcomed a lovely baby boy into the world. I'm not going to... No spoilers, I'll let Williams talk about all that later, but from all of us here at the podcast, from all of our friends and family, we all want to say a massive congratulations. It's amazing news. I'm sure everyone's wondering why you've been off for a while, but we'll get to that in our first look, Williams. We'll get to our first look.
Well, in the world of podcasts, we released the podcast after he was born, but
that was recorded a few days before.
It was
before water break.
Yeah, literally a couple of days before, I think it was.
It seems like many moons ago. Your world has changed since then, Williams.
Yes,
changed for the better.
Many.
Yes. For those of you who want to know, I'm looking at Williams. This is the first time I've actually seen his pretty face. Recording this podcast for a few weeks, he looks older. I'm not. the beard is the beard is a bit longer. The eyes definitely say, "Yeah, I'm getting about 2 hours of sleep at a time." But the spirit is good. The
spirit is good. That might be something to do with the beers being consumed at the bottom of the garden.
I've just realised you genuinely do actually call this at the bottom of the garden. I've never really clicked on that before.
Episode 7, everyone.
To anybody who's listened to previous episodes,
8 episodes if you include the Christmas special.
That's true.
He's worked out I'm at the bottom of the garden.
As I've said many times, not the sharpest tool in the shed. That's at the bottom of the garden.
And you do realise we don't actually go to the fish pond.
And I assume that was like some kind of thing
Not
you
to
had
break
set
the
up.
fourth wall for our listeners there, but
No, that's it. Don't break down the wall, Wales. Don't break down the wall.
No.
But
shall we head to the fish pond of feedback?
Let's head down there and see what's happening.
Lovely. Let's go fishing. On that note, one day last week. 2 gnomes, Frank and Bob.
Frank and Bob?
Yeah, Frank and Bob. You know Frank and Bob.
I've met them many times, yeah.
Yeah, so 2 gnomes, Frank and Bob, they were out fishing at the fish pond.
Oh, yeah.
And a funeral service passed over the bridge they're fishing by.
That's sad.
And Bob takes off his hat and puts it over his heart.
Mark of respect.
He does this until the funeral service passes by. Frank says, "Gee, Bob, I didn't know you had it in you." Bob replied, "It's the least I could do. After all, I was married to her for 30 years.
Hey! That reminds me of a conversation I was having with my father-in-law yesterday. So he was here and he was putting the worlds to rights, and he was quoting the movie. I think it was
podcast.
It'd be a very long podcast. The man can talk. He was quoting this film. I think it was.
It reminds me of.
It was. I think it's called Las Vegas. It was a woman from The Mask. What's her name?
From where?
The Mask, blonde woman.
Oh, Cameron
Cameron
Diaz.
Diaz, and I think it was her and Ashton Kutcher, and they wanted to get a divorce. And the judge said, so this was my father-in-law talking about my mother-in-law. And he said, you know, the judge in that says, you know, I want to burn, I want to grab her and set her on fire every day, but I don't. And he was venting. I was like, you're gay, John. And then today he sent me one of these memes, and it's a man and a woman who are on like a deserted island, and they see a boat, so they're waving the things. And the next shot, she's on the boat and he's sat on the island reading a book, quite happy. And I was like, I think I need to take this man for a couple of beers and just make sure he's okay. So, yes, good old Bob the Gnome.
And Frank.
And Frank, of course, Frank and
So,
Bean.
yes, we're down at the fishpond of feedback. We've got another email, Craig. So watch this.
Let's have a listen to that then.
Subject line. 2 words.
Subject line. 2 words.
2 words. Master Bates. For those that don't get the context of that subject line, was the last episode before?
I think it could have been the episode before. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But, well, listen to all the episodes and you'll find out what it means. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Brackets. I use that term loosely. Winky face.
Oh, saucy.
When I worked at Fern Resort with Mr. Williams, I worked at the front desk and remember very clearly one of the guests' name was Willie Handler. Willie Handler. Not William. Not Will. Not Bill. Willie.
Willie. All right, Willie.
Let that settle in. Love the podcast, guys! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! And again, so happy for Master Sprout's arrival. I was anxiously awaiting his arrival.
Oh, that's a great nod to the previous content. I think I know who probably sent this email in. Thank you very much.
There should be a package arriving soon for him.
Oh.
And lastly, obviously you can't see this. Here's a throwback photo to when I had the pleasure of meeting Craig, LA, and baby Braden.
Oh, I was going to say, I bet that must be Alice.
Yeah. So there's that photo by the bridge.
Oh.
By the bridge. We'll take.
Well, hello, Alice, and thank you for your email.
Braden in a pram. Bless him.
Braden in a pram, my goodness, when he couldn't get out and when you could strap him down without being looked at funny. You can't do that now. Now he's bigger. Tried, believe me.
So thank you very much, Alice.
Yeah, thank you, Alice. Lovely to hear from you.
Willie Handler. Someone's called Willie Handler.
You just wouldn't know what to say, would you? You'd literally just be there thinking, Mr. Handler, call me Willie, okay? Do I have to?
I mean, yeah. I could call someone Mr. Handler. I could call someone Willie. I couldn't call them Willie Handler.
You wonder though as well, like Willie, like it's a funny word to English people. It's a bit like
you could turn it to William.
You could turn it to William, but you know, like English humour, you know, like Mr. Bean, like and you know, go back to the olden days of, you know, like Benny Hill and the word Willie. It sounds like such a British child playground word.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, at school I used to have the fun taking me just for my last name. They go
Willie, yeah.
Daniel. Willie.
You didn't realise now. I'm only going to address you as Willie.
Yeah, Mr. Willie.
That's brilliant. You should never have told us that. That is one of those things that we should never ever have known. But now that you do, we'll only ever refer to you as Willie. But like North Americans, though, do you think North American? Well, obviously, if Alice has been there and was working there and had someone called Willie, it must cross the sea. But I just imagine Willie just being such a British thing and not at all Americans finding the name Willie funny. But Canadians are different.
They're a different
breed to the Americans.
Yes. And then also we've got people asking about. I mean, to be honest, you think a lot of people will be asking for updates on Sprout, but a lot of updates and requests for update on your kidney stones.
Well, this was news. I was going.
So last we heard, I think, was you had a scan booked in.
I did indeed. So I was I was saving this for later, but as somebody has asked about it,
That's right.
I will discuss it. So I had a 6mm kidney stone.
Thank you, Alice, for your email, by the way.
Yes, Alex, you're a legend. Keep listening.
And the gifts to Logan. Thank you very much.
She's a lovely woman. I'm glad she's listening. If you have any more emails, please do send them to where, Williams?
Firstlookgnomes@outlook.com.
Very good. So with the kidney stone, I had yes. So back in September, I was rolling in agony because I had a very small kidney stone that was passing through my utera, and thought I was having some kind. I actually thought my appendix had burst or something else was going on, and I was like, "Geez, this is just not fun." So went to the hospital, had a CT scan. The stone that was causing me pain actually passed, and I caught it in the bowl. If you go back to episode 1, it did make that noise.
Episode
You
1.
can go and listen to the story of Leslie Ann and her marigolds. Riveting stuff. And they said, yes, we can confirm it is kidney stones. The one that was causing you problem has passed, but you actually have a bigger one on the other side. It's a 6mm one, and we are not sure if it's going to actually pass. You may have to have it removed. They said we would get it all sorted within the next 4 weeks. Gave me some Tamfrax, which is to make the tubes all looser, and sent me on my way. 4 weeks passed, 8 weeks passed, 12 weeks passed, and I finally had my second scan there just before Logan was born. Assumed on the day I would have the scan and then find out what was going on, but no, didn't get told anything, just got told, have the scan, you'll hear from us in the next 4 weeks. So, drum roll, I get a letter in the post box, and I can see it's from the Health and Social Care Trust. And I thought, here we go. This is going to be the right. You've got to come in this day. This is yes, because if just to remind listeners, if a stone like that is stuck, they have to go up and get it. And when I say go up and get it, I don't mean go up your poo poo one. I mean they go up the pee pee one, and have to knock you out and go fishing down the pond of kidney stones. So I got this letter through, opened it up and said, "Dear Mr. Hodgkiss, we are pleased to inform you that the 6mm stone is no longer there.
What do you mean?
It's passed.
Where's it gone?
I peed it out."
You didn't realise?
Well, there have been a few evenings where I'm like, oh, this kidney stone's moving. It's sore.
Yeah.
But luckily, it seems to have passed without causing too much distress, which
Good.
When I got the letter to say that it passed, I'm not gonna lie, I was over the moon, because to be honest, the idea, I know it's only a day surgery and doctors are great, and but I still didn't really want to have to go and have somebody put a tube inside of me. So I was actually over the moon. So
it's not something you choose to do every weekend.
it is not.
Well, some people may be, but
Well, if you're into that kind of thing, but no, I was over the moon. Very glad to hear that it had passed, and that I don't have to go and have that procedure at this time. Now I have been since September, I have been on what's called a low oxalate diet. I have been drinking about 5 litres a day. No spinach, no beetroot, reduced chocolate, reduced red meat, less animal protein. Oh, the list goes on. But I've been eating a better diet, and the most important thing the woman said to me was, or the urologist said to me, was to drink. So I've been drinking about 4 or 5 litres a day. So as you can imagine, I've been pissing like a racehorse.
Yeah.
But it's obviously worked. It's obviously come out at some point, and passed. So there's been a couple of times like, that was probably it, because there was one night in particular I said to Leslie, I might have to go and get this looked at. It's really sore. But because it was late and I was shattered, I was just like, I'm just going to try and sleep and see what happens. And then woke up in the morning and the pain had gone. So it could have been that. But who knows? But it's not there now. So happy days.
Good.
Praise the Lord.
Hey.
Yeah, way. So yes. So that is an update on the kidney stones. I still have to be very careful. Every year I have to go back and have another scan.
Oh, I feel like that's the end of the season because that's from episode 1. That story.
Oh, it is, yeah, it is.
So,
So the 6 month 6 millimeter kidney stone drama. But I still have to be very careful because I got a thing which told me I am a stone former. So at any point I could get another one. So I need to go and
the Rock in disguise.
so I need to have a yearly scan. And yeah, let's just see what the crack is.
Good news.
Yeah, it is. It was very good news.
What else we got? I got a gift. I got a little gift.
A gift
Sent to me. Yeah.
from a listener.
From a listener. Even though we don't have a PO box number or anything like that yet. But if you do want to send us gifts, then email in at firstletgnomes@outlook.com. But this little item was made for me. Don't know if you can sort of see there, Craig. Obviously, the listeners can't.
That's amazing. Who made you that? That's brilliant.
Paint as well. That's from our number 1 listener that wrote in on the last episode.
George's mom.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. So for the listeners, because obviously you can't see what it is. So is it? It looks like it's ceramic, Williams. Is it?
Yeah, I believe so.
It's a bunny in a cup. That's amazing. So Sue has made.
Hand painted.
She's made this. It's like its little paws, its little back legs are coming out, and its bum sticking up. And that is a work of art.
Yeah.
What a great gift.
So
that's really thoughtful as well, isn't it?
It sits pride of place on the computer.
Oh, thank you very much. What a lovely gift that is. That's class.
So that's the and the only sort of final bit from the feedback is that on a previous episode I did ask you what our most downloaded episode was.
Cornish knockers.
Cornish knockers, and we rightly or
You filthy
not rightly
buggers.
so presumed our listener base were perverts.
Yes, rightly so. You're all perverts.
But,
we know this.
But no, the number 1 episode has changed, and it's something happened. I don't know what happened, but suddenly we had loads of downloads on this particular episode. But it was the I can't remember what it was called now, but it was basically the bunnies, artificial intelligent bunnies in World Cup.
Oh, very good.
It was episode 4 or something like that. But for some reason that one suddenly become very popular.
Oh, very good.
Perhaps someone was searching for artificial intelligence.
Who knows?
Someone was searching for bunnies.
When you say there was loads of downloads, you mean 2? No, 3.
A few more.
A few more than that.
A few more. So
Very good.
Yeah.
Well,
So I don't know what caused that, but it's not caused any repeat listens on next episode. So read into that as you want.
Well, for those of you who are repeat listeners, and for those of you, or even if you're here for the first time, you're very welcome. We hope you enjoy listening to us ramble on and talking nonsense.
Yes. And actually, whilst I'm here, let's have a little shout out to some new listeners, shall we? So let's have a quick look.
Do 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 do. Coming in at
Any
number
new
5.
listeners? Any new listeners of locations that I can pronounce? We got Neath
Neath.
in Neath, Port Talbot, Neath.
Oh, and where's that? Is that
Where
Canada?
that is? Not a clue.
Well, hello, Port Talbot. Sorry, we can't pronounce your name right.
Plymouth,
Plymouth. Oh, very good.
as in Plymouth.
Up the Argyle.
This sounds Welsh. Shout out to our listeners in Tony Pandy.
Tony Pandy.
That's a real place. Tony Pandy.
That sounds like something out of Fireman Sam, doesn't it?
It's not. Yeah, Tony Pandy isn't a mate of Willie Handler's.
Ponty Pandy. Tony Pandy. Very good. Hello, Tony Pandy.
Sounds like a storybook, doesn't it? Willie Handler and Tony Pandy went down to the wood.
Oh, it's such a cool name, Tony Pandy. I want to live in Tony Pandy.
It's, Tony Pandy is in Rhondda Synnantaf.
Oh, we need to go
I
there.
do apologise for murdering that pronunciation.
It sounds like a beautiful place.
And might have mentioned this one before, but Londonderry
London. We've got listeners in Londonderry. Well, you have to say Londonderry/Derry. It's
Yes,
So-
Derry City.
Derry City. Yes, I'm going there on Monday. It's
I went there briefly when I went over for your wedding that time. Lovely little place.
it's changed a lot. So we can.
I had a very nice steak and kidney pie. Well, not kidney pie, just steak pie. Nice steak pie with pint of Guinness.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
In London.
It's funny. So my wife went there for university. So when we started dating, she took me over there, and it was a perfectly fine place, walled city. So there's a lot of history there.
Yeah.
But like we went again last summer. We had some friends over, and we went to because it's very close to the Republic border. So if you go across the border, there's a place called Muff, and we went with two gay friends. Muff, yes, as in Muff. So we went with a couple of our friends who were insistent that they wanted to get a picture of Muff or in Muff.
Your friend Willie Hammond?
No, not Willie Handler. No, but wanted to get a picture in Muff. So
Frank and Bob.
Frank and Bob, yes, took them to Muff and stayed in Londonderry for the day, Londonderry/Derry, and we just called it Legendary. Just have to call it Legendary because we did a wall tour there, and the guy said, "Look, it's very contentious depending on what side of the community you're from, so just call it Legend." We just call it Legendary, and I thought that's brilliant. What a great little way to call it, and it's so like obviously the Derry Girls has made such a big impact on there. They've got the lovely mural there to it, but it's just a great place. We had some great food, great drink. It's lovely. So hello to the people of Derry/Londonderry/Legendary.
And I just saw another one. Queens, New York.
That's very cool.
Very
Yeah, that is very cool. Hello, Queens.
Hello, Queens. And listeners in Queens.
And yes, absolutely.
Cool.
Should we get on to the first look?
Yeah, let's go on to the first look. So it's not all about the fish pond, is it?
No, let's be honest, there's only one thing to talk about today, isn't there? There's,
So
you
we're
know,
going to take a first look.
the Six Nations.
Parenthood.
No, what?
We're going to take a first look at parenthood.
Parenthood.
AKA having a baby. Hooray!
Whee!
So
Take it away.
there'll be lots of parts of becoming a parent that I'm going to leave out just for obvious reasons.
For obvious reasons, yes.
And this will be listened by our number two listener now, because the fiance's mum is the new number one listener. But
Fiance's
the
mother,
fiance is
fiance's
going
mother.
to listen to this before it hits the airways, so it might be edited down to about 10 seconds.
Yes, we don't need to talk about anything personal, but it's a massive occasion for you and for Georgie, and for Sue, and for everybody involved. It's an absolutely huge occasion. Georgie has successfully grown and cooked a beautiful baby boy, and then she has delivered him into this world.
Yeah,
So I mean, that's. Obviously, they don't call it labour because it's a walk in the park, Obviously, that aside, you've done a massive thing, and it's really cool.
So we'll take a first look at parenthood. So we'll skip the look at pregnancy. We'll skip the look at birth and labour. We'll go straight forward to the parenthood bit, and let's go from the first second of parenthood. So baby is born. Listen back to previous episodes, and I might have commented on his scans and how a certain
Appendage.
certain appendage was quite big, but I took a bit of it, with a pinch of salt and for a bit of humour, because I thought friends of mine that have sons, they would tell me the truth about baby boys being born. But no, they don't. Your baby's born. You think you might, the first thing you see might be, the big eyes open, sort of staring at you. No, that was the second thing I saw.
Oh, yeah.
No one tells you, Craig, on parenthood about swollen balls. Why isn't there a warning about swollen balls? So, perfect little baby Logan is born. His balls are swollen.
Oh, God love him.
Like anything, bless him, and they are humongous.
Okay. I'm not. I'm not going to lie. That's not where I expected you to go with the first look at parenthood. But you know what? I'm glad you did. So.
Oh yeah, I thought I'd start from the start from the first couple of seconds. But
I don't know. Is that a phenomenon? I don't know if that's a normal thing
well, no,
or.
apparently it's quite common.
Okay.
Apparently it's quite common.
When you say
I don't
swollen, like what we talking?
big, yeah. So apparently they're swollen at birth, or maybe particular types of birth. I don't know, but they were swollen. They were huge. I didn't know it's because they were swollen.
Okay. Are you sure he's not just a lad?
No, they have shrunk.
Okay.
They have shrunk to a normal baby size.
Very good.
But they were adult size.
Okay.
Well, in my mind, they seemed adult size when they were born.
Adult-sized testicles on a child.
So that was a bit of a shock and took away from the magical moment. But after that first couple of seconds, I did get to focus on his eyes that were, he was wide open and he was very inquisitive about the world. So that was a magical moment. But to be honest, I was distracted by the swollen balls.
It's amazing though, Wells. You think, right? This is you've been awake for 30, 40 hours.
40 hours.
The person you love more than anything in the world is in agony and pain and in distress, and you really can't do much about it. And then you've also got a new life coming to the world. You really don't know how you're going to react. This is not something you do every day. It's not something you can really prepare for. So again, you have in your head an idea of what a baby looks like when they come out, and if it comes out and there's adult-sized testicles on a small
tells you about that. Why hasn't anyone said just to prepare you when he's out? His balls will be big, but don't worry, they will calm down. But no.
Well,
no one said that at all.
Well, thank goodness for First Look Gnomes, where we can raise the issue. So we need to get a hashtag going, okay?
Yes, yeah. I mean, get it out there. I mean, there's lots of. I mean, these days compared to 20 years ago, 30 years, 40 years ago, there's so much more information out there, and you can prepare yourselves for it. But I was never told about that. It needs to be part of the NHS service, I think.
It does. Well, thank you for bringing attention to it.
And then I've always had fairly hairy nostrils, Craig.
Well, you're a real man, Williams.
But within a week, that scene in The Last of Us where those fungus string things are coming out of the zombie's mouth. Imagine that coming up my nose. So literally, they just started growing out like crazy.
Yours, not Logan's, yeah?
No, yes, mine. Yes. Yeah. Something with my dad. So my nostril hairs, they just start coming out. like just reaching out. So literally in maternity leave, I bought a nose trimmer. So that I've had a first look at a nose trimmer.
Was this your first time at a nose trimmer?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Maybe because my son's older, so I've had this phenomenon for a while.
Exactly. And they don't tell you about that, do they? I bet it started when he was born.
I didn't make the correlation between having a child and then fuse wire nose hair.
Oh, there you go. That's
Do you know what it is, Wells?
First look for you.
You get it's just one random hair that just like appears, and it's as thick as a 13-amp fuse wire. And where has this come from? It is bizarre.
Yes, I went from hairy nostrils to they're reaching out.
Wow.
Trying to grab people.
Well, you are a man of a certain age as well,
I know, but the fact that it happened in the first couple of weeks, there's definitely something there. And like you said, my beard's got a lot of grey hair.
You do look. Your beard has. The first thing I noticed was I was like, wow, that's a silver beard. And
I bought a nose trimmer. My beard's gone a lot more silver than it was. It's gone from salt and pepper to silver. So these are all things that happen in your first couple of weeks of parenthood. Fatherhood. Let's just be specific.
But have you enjoyed the experience? What's it been? You've got a new baby.
The first couple of weeks, I was doing a lot more sort of domestic prodding, which was good. But just constantly on it. And probably part of that was just the adjustment, and I need to do stuff maybe. But I was busy.
There's no easing into it, is there? You're just in, and then all of a sudden they send you home after like a couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happened, but for some reason, we never actually received our instruction manual. which but I presume you've got an instruction manual for Braden. But,
I would say yes, but I can't really remember. I don't think there was. I don't think there was anything. We had a red book, which was just the.
I was joking about it.
No, and sorry. Yes, I do understand. No, I appreciate that.
Just a very, very serious tone. Yeah, I don't think.
No, sorry. I just mean like in general, they just you are pretty much just there. You go home, and you're like, okay, what do we do now?
Yeah.
And you just have to kind of. I remember. What was it like for you putting him in the car and driving him home for the first time and stuff? What was that like?
Yeah, so that was a big moment because that's the first stage of we're looking after this small, fragile, tiny little human being. Again, it was late because I won't go into details, but she had to stay in for a little bit, but. Not too long, but we left the next evening, and was all going fine because he was quite sleepy and little grumbles in the hospital, and then got into the car. Car was fine, but that's the first time that the fiance didn't have direct eye-line contact. With the baby, so that's a big step for her. And then me driving, like I mentioned in the previous episode, I'm not that experienced at driving, so I did stop for quite a while. So I've got a baby in the back, a mother that's suddenly can't see her baby, so
she's panicking.
And then nighttime driving, she's panicked. She's the experienced driver, so it's quite a funny moment where. Actually, there's a really funny moment before this funny moment, but it's not one I can say about. But I'll tell you at another point. I'll let Georgie do because she's told me not to tell anyone. But anyway, moving on. On the way home, and Georgie's the experienced driver, and I'm not as experienced. And then suddenly, I'm pretty confident it's not, but she starts shouting, "You're getting towards a roundabout. Slow down! Stop!" This is like night time, the car's going on. And I'm pretty sure it's not. And then she's like shouting, "Stop, stop, stop." And so I've got to slow down it's not a roundabout. So it was all quite stressful experience getting back. And then we got back, and then it just kicked off. Like, we've not heard him cry and everything yet. And then he's crying, he's pooping. She's trying to change the Logan on the sofa whilst I'm trying to calm Mika down. So this is the first time we've met the dog. He wasn't sure on Georgie, so because he was like, something's wrong here.
Yeah.
Like he was obviously worried, like, you're slightly damaged.
Yes, yeah.
I need to stay clear of you. So he was really good. But he stuck to my side. He's like, something really strange has happened here.
Yes. What
on earth is going on? But he was really good. Yeah, really good at the baby. Just a bit.
Who are you?
What the? Yeah.
What's this thing that's going to pull my hair?
Yeah. But so the first 10-15 minutes, when it was in the house, it was all kicking off.
It's a stressful time, mate.
But since then we've I don't want to say adjusted, but adjusting.
You're finding your groove.
And finding our groove, and definitely the first sort of couple of weeks, my calf muscles, because the fiance was fairly bedridden for the first sort of week, so my calf muscles from going up and down the stairs were definitely increased. And there was quite a funny moment because obviously, she's gone through, she's had to take those painkillers and been in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And so I can't remember what it was now, but I think I stubbed my toe or something, and I knew straight away I cannot complain. I cannot complain about stubbing my toe because it's not even a percentage of what she's been through. And she just sees me, I'm just like gritting my teeth. She knew I wanted to say something. I was like,
"What's the matter, Daniel?"
I just knew,
nothing.
Yeah, I just knew. I think she has. Yeah, you're right. I was like, I can't answer that question. I really. What can I say?
You need to sit in a rubber ring. I've stubbed my
Yeah.
boo boo toto.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that was quite funny.
good decision.
And then, yeah, but I got my own little theme tune.
Oh,
So it's basically in the theme of Batman, but it's Snack Man. So that tends to get sung when snacks are needed,
very good.
with the old prep machine. Yeah, it's it's nice. It's just little things are quite enjoyable. Just lately he's gone from wet farts to like proper man farts already, like proper trumpet.
Lads, what a lad.
You just sat there sometimes and say,
How many times have you said that's my boy?
oh yeah. It's like, good lad.
That's my boy. Fart like a man.
Yeah. So yeah, just typical lads. Yeah, proud of the sound of his farts.
It's quite something. It's quite something because you're kind of in the eye of the storm. You don't know what day it is. You don't really know what's going on. You're trying to be as normal as you can, but it's an abnormal situation because you've gone from basically responsibility to just to you, Georgie and Mika, to you, Georgie Mika, and a child who literally can't do anything without yours and Georgie's help.
Yeah.
So, I remember it took a long time for us, and you'll have this too. You're so
They're quite robust because I've always been so with babies. I still am with other babies.
Yeah.
I imagine I am, but they're so fragile. So whenever I'm not very good at sort of holding babies.
Yes.
I'm still not, but with Logan now, I've got to the point of I just pick him up and throw him around.
The apprehension's not quite so
not
much.
that much, but yeah. But
You tune in well.
They're more robust than you think.
They are, and you're probably. I'm assuming like when you've gone to sleep, have you been fully asleep? Because you're just slightly awake, aren't you?
No, I'm pretty sure my anxiety levels are through the roof.
Yeah.
Because a lot of little things. Like the other day, Georgie was calling my name, but for some reason I just didn't hear it because I think I was using the prep machine or something.
Yeah.
So then she escalated to basically go, Dan! Like shouting really loud. But that's the only bit I heard. So obviously I go straight into there's an emergency, panic. So my heart's beating a million miles an hour. I've gone up the steps in like half a second. and she says, yeah, I can't remember what she asked for, but just something like really.
Can you scratch my back?
Yeah. I'm just like panting away. Yeah. Panting away, first aid kit out.
Yes, 999 half dialed. Yeah.
But no, yeah, false alarm. But yeah, so that's different. Yeah, I'm very much on alert all the time. A little bit less so now than perhaps the first couple of weeks, but still very much on alert.
It's an adjustment, mate. You will just find your groove and just kind of get into it, but it's a massive adjustment.
Yeah,
but it's also amazing. It's probably quite hard to process, I imagine.
So, even now as you're talking, I'm just double checking my messages to check she's not messaged that.
Just like the Daniel, come home.
Yeah, and if it's an emergency, she wouldn't message me anyway.
You just hear it on the podcast coming through. Dan.
Yeah. But
hear your heart beating.
Yeah. Parenthood. It's it's a roller coaster. I'm sure there'll be plenty of. That's the thing with having a kid, and you obviously know with 8-year-old. Have I got the age right there?
He's 8 this year, so he's 7 at the minute.
8 this year, yes. I'm just forward dating. But there's going to be a lot of first looks.
Oh yeah.
Like even in the 4 weeks, like he's grown and he's doing different things than he was 2 weeks ago. So there's constantly going to be first things, isn't there? So that's quite exciting and
Well,
adjusting.
you said before the pod, like, the difference just going from like 25 mil to 150 mil.
Yeah.
Just the amount that he's guzzling because they grow so
He's grown out of
fast.
some of his onesies as well.
I know, and they're so cute in the onesies, aren't they? You put them in the little onesies, and it's so cute. And they can't move, and there's like and make these lovely noises. And
Well, that's confusing the size as well. So for Sunday, Newcastle United are in the Carabao Cup final.
come on, the tune.
At Wembley, Toonami, which I waited about 28 years, probably. About 26, I can't remember. A long time since the final. And Logan comes along and he's only waiting a month for Newcastle to make a final. So I bought my Newcastle onesie to wear. Smaller size, 0 to 3 months, but it's huge.
It's hard, isn't
So
it?
he is growing. So I see what it's like on Sunday to fit into this Newcastle onesie, but it was huge when it arrived. So it's definitely more 3 months than not.
It's mad, isn't it? Because you get some babies who come out at like, I don't know, 9 or 10 pounds, and other babies who come out at like 4. And I'm probably wrong on the numbers there. That sounds right, but I'm probably wrong.
No, you can go 4 or 5. Usually twins, you go like they're tiny.
Okay.
And £10 is a big baby.
That's a big watermelon coming out.
Yeah.
And Williams, how did you experience the meconium? Because that's one of the things I remember. I remember the afterbirth and the meconium.
Is that the stuff that's still in the lungs, or is that the stuff that's on?
No, so
that was the poop.
that's the black poop, the tar poop. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, black poop went through all the different stages. So went for a pesto stage.
The colour's unbelievable, isn't it?
And they went through what we called a Uncle PK Chinese chicken curry.
Oh, very good.
Because my Uncle PK, he always has a Chinese chicken curry. So I'm referring to that. So I don't know if it's put him off his Chinese yet, but we told him about it. But
The meconium though, the black tarry stuff. Did you have?
But that's fine because that they tell you about.
Yeah.
What they don't tell you about is the swollen ball.
That's true. Well, yes. Swollen baby balls. It's a real thing.
Yeah. Because at the start we were also quite worried because his skin started looking quite dry and flaky.
Yes.
But there's loads of information out there. It says that's quite normal.
Oh yeah, brain had that, like cradle cap and stuff.
That initial skin layer, and they're basically growing new skin.
Yes.
So that they're basically shedding their skin. But,
swollen balls.
Swollen balls.
No.
No information on it.
Page 974 on
Not
Google.
about it.
Raise awareness, Williams. Raise awareness. Bring the cause forward.
I mean, to be fair, it's not the most important thing to know about. A little bit of heads up would have been nice.
But on the whole, though, you're okay. You're coping well. Georgie's well. Logan's a little legend. You're all doing okay.
Everyone's doing well.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing well. So
we look forward to hearing more and more. It's going to be a journey for the listeners of First Look Gnomes.
Yeah, like I say, there'll be well, to be honest, I think more people are interested in your kidney stones, Craig. So you have to. I don't know what we're going to do now that story's ended. So.
Well, no, there's still a couple of little ones in there. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah,
we can. I'll keep,
tune in to episode 8.
I'll keep you posted. Plus, I've also got gallstones, so we can talk about that as well.
But enough about parenthood.
I don't think you can ever get enough about parenthood. It's a subject that's just going on and on.
It's a conversation that could go on forever.
Williams and me were talking pre-podcast about 8-year-olds being troublesome, and thinking back to meconium poos and swollen balls and onesies and stuff. It is a roller coaster, but. You just I'm going to sound like Ronan Keating. You just gotta ride it. It's very cool. The most important thing is that obviously you're doing a good job as well, because as if you wouldn't, but look after your wife. Your wife will look after Logan. Fiance. I beg your pardon. Just if you all look after each other, you'll all do well. So you'll be grand. Can't wait to meet him. Can't wait to get over the water and come and meet him.
Yeah, we need to sort something out.
Yeah, hopefully in the summer. We're hoping to come over in the summer.
Yeah, have a look at Gnome Airways.
Yeah.
Flight.
Yeah, well,
What have you got to give us a first look?
Well, I mean,
Mr. Hodges?
it's not as important as having a new family member or a new child, but I have treated it as delicately as a new child since it arrived. So on Wednesday, I didn't deliver, but I took delivery of something very special, very important. It's the brand new.
Oh, we had a delivery of something special.
You did. Yours is a lot more precious. But I have literally, when I got out of the box, I was like, oh, careful.
Oh.
Careful, hold it carefully, don't drop it. I took delivery of something I'd pre-ordered many weeks ago, and I received my PlayStation Virtual Reality 2 headset.
Ah, exciting.
So I got a PSVR 2, as they are called.
Does it work?
Does it work?
Does it work? Well, the reason I said it, so my today is Friday the 24th. My colleague at work, he booked today off because he was receiving his PlayStation virtual reality headset, etc. Last night. It arrived. It was broke.
No. Oh, that's
He was
gutting.
Yeah, he's had today off and he's not been able to use it.
Sorry, I thought when you said does it work, I thought you meant just virtual reality work.
Well, does it?
Well, yes. So I'll tell you a story, Williams. I'll tell you a story about how I ended up in possession of the PSVR 2. So, as we've talked about on previous podcasts, I am a video game player. I love my video games. I love stories.
And we decided that your wife is your lovely wife is a lucky lady.
She is. She loves stories too. It's a funny one. How we consume stories is a little bit different, but the pair of us, we love a story. From the Harry Potter books to the Roald Dahl books to any kind of story on. We're not into true crime, but like all the we listen to. We listen to a lot of audiobooks together.
So like Audible and things.
Yes, on Audible. So we'll kind of say, right, should we listen? What should we do tonight? And sometimes when you just need to chill out, and he's like, oh, I can't really be fannied with telly. But
listen to a podcast.
We do. We tend to go to bed and we'll put something on, or we do listen to. There's a couple of podcasts we listen to together, and Leslie Ann. So Leslie Ann gets the train to work in the mornings and the train home, so she listens to podcasts, and at least once a week I'll get a little ping like, oh, here's a podcast. Listen to this. So with the pair of us love a good story. But I consume a lot of my stories through the medium of video games. I've always liked video games. I've played video games since I was, since the NES and the Game Boy days. And if you listen back to podcasts, we've talked about The Last of Us and God of War and all these other podcasts. So about how many weeks ago?
And a lot of our relationship has been around Mario Kart, isn't it?
Still love Mario Kart. Mario Kart in VR is the future. But we went to a friend's house for dinner a few Sundays back, and they had a Oculus Rift 2. Oh, sorry, Oculus Quest 2. And I hadn't really got my hands.
Pardon me. Apologies. That one crept up on me.
That was from the depths. It's not a problem. We were. You're an animal. You're an absolute animal. That was very funny. Dads. So we were around our friend's house, and they had the Meta Quest 2. And I actually hadn't played an actual virtual reality machine. I've played them in the arcades and stuff, but not an actual home one. And they put me on this game called Walk the Plank, where, again, as someone who's not
I think I might have seen that on TV or something.
It's very cool. So you put the headset on, and you go in an elevator and you go to the top of this building. And you have to walk the plank, and it really does muck with your mind. Because even though the graphics are computer graphics, the immersion is like, this is real, because you look around and there's a helicopter comes over your head and you're like, wow, this is unbelievable. And I was a bit skeptical about VRs. We're like, oh, I don't want to.
Especially if you're scared of heights, it's probably good.
Well,
training.
it felt real. Like, you know, you felt like you were there. Your senses, your brain doesn't quite know what to do.
Can't quite work it out.
You can't quite work it out because you can't. Obviously, you know.
Because you're using your eyes and your ears, which is obviously
this is
a big chunk of it.
This is something I found as well. It's like playing VR messes with my ears a little bit because of balance and stuff. But we had to go on this one, and I was like, that's unbelievable, because I'd always been skeptical about it and thought, I don't know if I want to invest in VR, because obviously playing a video game, you see all these games, you're like, oh, it looks pretty good, I'm not sure, because until you try it, you don't know how fucking awesome it really is. Part of my language, but that I was literally just like, this is unbelievable. I can't believe I've not actually played one of these before. So then I came home and I was like, it's my birthday, I want one. So PSVR 2 was coming out. So I ordered myself one. And it arrived on Wednesday. And I've got myself a few games for it. I got myself Gran Turismo 7. And I got myself Horizon, Call of the Mountain. And I got myself Resident Evil Village. And what else did I get?
Oh, that's what, a horror film.
Yes.
Horror game.
And I got a kayaking one where you go kayaking.
See, I'm quite... Yeah, virtual reality games sound good, but not the horror ones.
Well, I'll tell you my experience with it so far. So when you get it all set up and stuff, the first game I did was the kayaking one.
Yeah.
And it is so real and immersive. It looks fake, but it's not fake. It's so weird to explain, but because the water's moving, you feel like you're moving. Like, I got motion sick the first few times I played it. I was like, I feel a bit motion sick. I had to get your VR legs, so to speak. But after I played it last night for a few hours,
your brain's going off what you can see and hear, isn't it?
Well, that's it. Yeah. So it's the VR2, the PSVR2, the way it wraps around your eyes. So there's the field of view is pretty good. So you haven't got too much that you can't see. It feels like you are in the world. You look like a Wally because you've got this big faceplate on. But I put Leslie on the kayaking one for the first time, and she was just like, she was blown over. She was like, this is just mental, because we can see what they see on the TV screen, but it's flat. But when you put the helmet on, it's like a different world. Like, you feel like you can touch it. Like, your mind is convinced.
So there's the depth perception. Is that?
It's just unbelievable. So I'll tell you the game I got, the Horizon Call of the Mountain. So you go in and you're kind of on this. You're up high, but in the distance you've got these mountains and all these things. And I just stood there and looked at it, because it's not like computer graphics. It's like you're actually there. It's just unbelievable, but it's really hard to explain because unless you actually put the helmet on and see it and hear it and feel it, it just looks like a video game. But as soon as you put it on, it's unbelievable, mate. Because
the early ones, there's lots of problems because basically when you turned your head, the images weren't quite keeping up to the same speed as your eyes or neck were moving.
Yes.
Whereas now I think it's a lot more.
Well, in Geek Talk, this one there's none of that at all. It's 120 hertz refresh rate for eyes, so every image you get is super smooth because there's so much going on. Yeah. And obviously because it's connected to your PlayStation 5, which is a badass powerful system, it just works so well. But I have been like blown away by it, and I love it. I am GT7. So it feels like you're in a car. So you sit in the car, and the car is perfectly rendered, and you can go into like a VR showroom and you can drive, and like it messes with your senses. Like you get that feeling when you drive up over a hill, you feel that like woo.
When they start adding things like smell and touch, that's when it's going to be crazy.
It's already pretty good. So you think that the leaps. So the first PSVR came out in 2016, I think. So now 2023. You think where it's come from, the likes of playing Super Mario on an NES, which was 30 years ago, I think where they're going to go now with the processing power they've got, and it's just it's class. I love it. I'm really excited for where it can go. And we had Braden on it, and he was playing Call of the Mountain. He's not meant to because he's under 12, but he wanted to have a go on it, and he's there. And I filmed him playing VR, and when he was on the kayak one, he was sitting on the chair. We moved the chair into the middle of the room, and he's on this kayak one, and he's looking around. I was like, "Oh, Daddy, look at that!" Because he's like, what he's looking at. I was like, "Oh, Dad, look at that bird!" And like, "Oh, Dad, I can touch this." And he's there. So he's sitting on the chair and he's putting his hand over the side to try and touch the water because he's so immersed. You can see he's like, "Oh, I want to touch the water." He's like, "There's a fish. I want to touch the fish." And he's trying to reach out and touch the fish. And you're like, "You can't."
You've got to be careful because I'm sure you've probably seen the video or similar, but they filmed the kids, I think a little bit older, 10 or something like that. And it was like a platform game where you go around and you have to jump over blocks and things, and they're telling him, "Oh no, you need to jump over that bit." No, they say no. Why don't you do a run and sort of jump over the thing? But then he actually physically runs.
Okay.
So runs into the TV and just jumps into the TV.
Okay.
Yes, you've got to be careful.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
Yeah.
And it does come with a warning about under 12s, like this isn't for under 12s. So we'll let Brian have a few goes on it and stuff, but it's not a kid's toy. It's
No.
you know, it's very cool.
But even as an adult, you must forget yourself a little bit.
Well, yeah, I've done some standing up, I've done some sitting down. And it is the Horizon game. You have to draw your bow and then shoot. And I tell you, it feels so real. So you pull your bow out and you draw your bow and you fire, and it's like.
But you're not really.
It's got eye no, you're not really, because it tracks your eye. It knows where you're looking in the game, so it just moves around, and it's just perfect. And I was like, this is only going to get better and better to the point where it's going to be just realistic. So in this game, there's a couple of characters in the game, and they come up and they're talking to you, and because of the depth perception, it looks like they're stood in front of you full size like human beings. It's mad. It's absolutely mad. I would recommend anybody who has an opportunity to go and play a PSVR 2 or a Meta Quest 2 or any of them who hasn't done it, don't be skeptical. It's really quite impressive.
I want to.
It's not like the olden days, like in the 90s when you put this massive heavy thing on. These headsets are light. The immersion is real. So yeah, it's been really fun.
You said you got Resident Evil. I don't think I can deal with zombies and things.
No, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, I like the Resident Evil games. They've got Resident Evil 4, which was one of my favourite ever games.
I would actually poo my pants.
No, because you know it's
yeah. Why not? You can't even sort of just. I don't know. I suppose you could still close your eyes. But...
Well, I haven't played Resident Evil very much. We've mostly been playing the kayaking game and the Horizon Call of the Mountain game. But obviously, it only arrived on Wednesday and a full-time job, so I haven't really had a great deal of time. When it came on Wednesday, Braden played it more than I did. So Gran Turismo's excellent as well. So like Braden had to go on Gran Turismo, and you use the control pad and you can steer with it as if like on the Wii with Mario Kart. But it feels so good. And you can change the settings to help kids play. So he's there with his helmet on, driving a Mini around Brands Hatch, and he's really good. He's driving, he's taking the corners, and I'm like, it's very cool. But it is going to have to be one of those things that we limit. But no, it's as I say, for anybody who is skeptical about VR or is like, "Oh, that's just a fad," I can see it being the future. It's going to sound really geeky. The future of gaming, Wells. It's garlic bread. It's the future.
It's the future.
It's the future.
Like Tay-Tex.
But no, I've really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to it tomorrow afternoon. We've got a few things to do tomorrow. We've got a pretty busy day on Sunday. So tomorrow afternoon we've penciled in some VR time. So there's a game I want to get Brain called What the Bat. So it's a stupid game. So you are a person who has bats for arms, and you wake up one morning and you've got to do stuff. So like you've got to turn off your alarm clock. Like baseball bats, yes.
Yeah.
When I told Leslie, I actually thought I meant bats, as in like Batman.
I did, yeah.
So you got baseball. It's my fault. I didn't specify. You got baseball bats for arms, and you have to do things like put toast in the toaster using baseball bat hands, and I was like, that's the kind of game we need to get Braden, just because it's silly. Like, Brendan, what would you do if you had baseball bats for hands when your alarm goes off? Bop.
You enjoy that.
So, yes, I may download that tomorrow and let him have a go on that. Because as much as he would love to have a go on Resident Evil, I don't think it's necessarily suitable for a young kid to be scared shitless from a zombie.
No, especially, yeah, I mean, that would cause
Trauma.
some nightmares,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, what the batting is. But no, that's my only first look. Really well.
Your only first look?
Today, yeah, because usually we do two, but I thought we got two, two pretty big ones today, haven't we?
Quite big first look, didn't we? Yes, my other short sort of first look is I've been in the background working on a secret little project.
Oh, yeah.
Secret, but not secret, but we now have an Instagram account, Greg.
No way.
Isn't that exciting?
That is exciting. I'm not on Instagram, so I'll never see it.
I know. It's not something I promoted to our inner circle. Don't worry.
They'll find it eventually, you know.
Well, yeah, eventually, but yeah, let's
Let's hide it for as long
wait
as
for them
possible.
to find it until.
Once we're famous and millionaires.
Yeah, we've got about 450 followers now.
What?
I tend to, yeah,
450 followers
450 followers.
for our little podcast Instagram
all I
page.
do. So yeah, if you want to see various different celebrities with a gnome hat, visit First Look Gnome's Instagram account.
Williams, that's genius.
Yeah. Yes, you've got various. You've got Winston Churchill wearing a gnome hat.
That's funny.
I can't remember the ones, but there's various different.
You are a funny man.
celebrities.
That's brilliant.
And your joke on there as well. So
So you've started an Instagram account for First Look Gnomes
yes.
where you put gnome hats on famous people and tell gnome jokes. That is just genius.
Not necessarily gnome jokes. There are some. If you refer back to our previous episode, I do have a calendar that I had from Secret Santa.
Mm-hmm.
So I got my joke per day. So
Very good.
actually, on that note, I won't do all of them, but we've got quite a few jokes to catch up on.
I can't wait.
So I'll fly through some. Let's fly through some. What do you call a man who can't stand?
I don't know. What do you call a man who can't stand?
Neil.
Hey,
Why did the chicken cross the playground?
I don't know.
To get to the other slide.
Very good.
I enjoyed that one. What did the left eye say to the right eye?
I'm not sure.
Between you and me,
Hey.
something smells.
Very good.
What is a tree's favourite drink?
Tree's favourite drink. I don't know. What is a tree's favourite drink?
Root beer.
Very good.
How do two arsonists hook up?
Don't know.
A match on Tinder.
I was about to say Match.com.
That's a clever one.
Yeah, that's very
That's a
good. A
clever
match
one.
on Tinder. Very good.
Why couldn't Dracula's wife get to sleep?
I'm not sure.
Because of his coffin. No, I won't do all the those of them, but final one. How do you organise a space party?
How'd you organise a space? But I don't know else.
You plan it.
You plan. Very good. Very good. Well, it's funny. Funny you mentioned the jokes, William. So, I told Master Braden today. I said, "Oh, I'm doing a podcast with Uncle Dan tonight," and he said, "Oh, when's the Braden special podcast?" And I said,
Oh yes.
Easter, because he's off. He's off on holiday for Easter. So I said,
Easter special.
we'll
Yep,
do one for the kids in Easter,
Yeah.
and we'll get Brain in.
We'll
and he
still
can-
have our April episode. Or when is Easter actually?
It's April the 3rd.
April.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll still have an April episode, but we'll have a special one.
Well, because you like jokes and because Brain likes jokes and it's April Fools and it's Easter,
Yep.
we can just do we can do a foolish special podcast,
Yeah.
which is just
lovely.
lots of jokes and lots of tomfoolery
Yes.
for the kids.
Forward to it. Look forward to it.
No, well, I think if that's it, we'll bid you adieu because I'm sure your wife would like your fiance.
Yes,
With,
I must get back to so probably due probably hear the snack man. I see the snack man signal in the sky.
Can you sing it for us?
Snack man, snack man.
So is that whether you're getting milk or some What's-Its for Georgie?
Yeah, mainly.
Other snacks are available.
But yes, other snacks are available. So what's the gnome is on the cliff edge? What's the big? I guess maybe the Newcastle result. I mean, this episode will be released after the Newcastle result.
Well, I suppose.
Anything else we're hanging on?
Well, we were waiting obviously for Logan's arrival.
He is here.
The
kidney stone is here.
The kidney stone is gone.
One of them. The big one.
The big one is gone. So we're going to have to wait to see what happens with the Six Nations. Obviously, the Women's World Cup is coming up. There are Andy Murray is playing in a semi-final for the first time in donkeys. Yeah, tonight. Excuse me, tonight. What else?
Time to finish the podcast, I think, because Mr. Hodgkins has got hiccups.
I've got the hiccups, yeah. But it's got to be drinking beer and talking at the same time. I need to. Yeah. Listen more, talk less. Personal growth, Williams.
You sounded like a. No, you haven't seen Hamilton.
Oh no, Hamilton's amazing. Love Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
I do. Hamilton's great. We can do a music.
Smile more. Talk less.
We should do musical specials, Williams. Love a bit of Hamilton.
We could do all sorts of specials. We've not had any external special guests yet. We should get a special guest on board.
We should. I wonder who. Have a think. Yes. That can be the cliffhanger.
Yes. Well, we've got obviously Braden lined up for the Easter special.
Yes.
Easter Kids special. For all our listeners out there, if you've got kids, tune in.
Mate,
we'll make it appropriate.
You know what
we
could do?
Easter special.
We have a, as you say, we have an avid top listener. We could get Sue on.
Well, I think we've got a bit of competition, to be honest. So obviously we've got the fiance. We've got the
fiance's mother.
Fiancé mother-in-law.
Yeah.
And we've got Alice.
Well, it might be nice to get a Canadian in as well.
Alice. But who?
It might be nice to have a Canadian on the podcast.
Yes, well, we are global.
Yeah, we are a global podcast. Queens, Wales, Canada, India.
Yeah, so our cliffhanger is...
what will the next few weeks bring for a new baby and a new dad and a new mom who are taking their first steps into parenthood. We shall find out.
Not the best cliffhangers, but very good. Right, bye, everyone.
Ta-ra, everybody.
See you next time.
Bye.
I mean, have I stopped? I haven't stopped. Bye. Mr. Willie.